This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Encompass Health, Rehabilitation Hospital of New England, and North Shore Community College. If you have the will to attend college, we have the way for you to earn your degree.
Welcome back to LCTV News. I'm Danny Vittori, and a belated Happy Labor Day to everyone in the workforce, both past and present. As the focus shifts back to school, elections and calls for change overtook the city. On the Lowdown, representatives from GALA were back to present their latest exhibit focused on Hispanic heritage. Here's the news for Friday, September 8th, 2023. Last Friday the 1st, the Senior Center hosted a barbecue and graduation for seniors who completed their technology course. They had caps, a ceremony, and music for everyone's entertainment.
To begin the month of September, the Lynn Senior Center decided to host a cookout celebrating Labor Day weekend and 2023 graduates of the Tech Goes Home program, where seniors take classes that help them master their skills in using technology. A number of different food courses were served by volunteers, and a band known as Blue Notes provided the celebratory music. A number of seniors even got up to dance at various points, showing they still got the moves. A number of city officials stopped by, including Mayor Nicholson and ward councilors Coco Alisung and Diana Shakudis. The mayor had a few remarks to recognize the graduates and the event itself.
It's our pleasure to celebrate you here today and also to wish you a happy Labor Day. I want to take a moment to recognize and thank the organized labor movement, our union brothers and sisters, for their hard work in creating a lot of our workplace rights and everything they do to advance justice in the workplace. Thank you to our unions. It is so motivating to see you all take advantage of this opportunity, be creating these connections between yourself and ultimately the people you care about.
With labor unions becoming more popular with new generations of Americans, it was important to recognize the preceding generations that made it all possible. For LCTV News, I'm Josh Englander.
Lynn, you voted and the results are in. Dr. Pete Meany topped Ward 1 with 480 votes, followed closely by Jeff Newhall with 477. For Ward 4, Natasha Medri-Madri and Donna Capola advanced, earning 257 and 190 votes respectively. While all candidates are moving forward in the Councilor at Large and school committee races, the primary still gave them an idea of where they stand. Councilor at Large was topped by 3 incumbent candidates, with Brian Field leading the charge at 2,036, Hong Net following closely at 2,028, Brian LaPierre at 1,961, and newcomer Donald Castle coming in 4th with 1,806. It remains a tight race headed into the final election, as incumbent Nicole McLean finished only a few hundred votes behind the leaders and was the only other candidate to break 1,000. For school committee, newcomers Sean Reed and Andrea Satterwhite broke into the top 6, as incumbent Lorraine Gately topped the field with 2,040 as she goes for her 5th term. To see the full election results, go to LynnTV.org. The 52nd annual Greek Festival took place at St. George this past weekend as people packed the parking lot to enjoy traditional dance, food, and vendors. Even after missing a few years due to COVID, the event is still as popular as ever.
So this is probably, I think we just broke our 52 years of something formal in a festival form from this church. 52 years ago or so, we would raffle off a Cadillac. And that sort of turned into, let's serve some food, let's do it off-site. And here we are live on the property again. Of course, we took a couple of years off for COVID. We had a successful comeback last year. And here we are this year. We've got games, we've got rides, we've got traditional Greek cuisine and music. And of course, you know, we call it the Great Lynn Festival because it's a community. This is 100% our biggest fundraiser of the year.
Yeah, and it's really a community event where we welcome not only our parishioners, but people from all of the churches of the metropolis of Boston, which is what we're a part of, but also the city of Lynn. We want everybody to come here, enjoy the food, enjoy the beautiful atmosphere that we have, and we have a Greek word, it's called kefi. It's a word that just means having a good time and being with friends and family and enjoying good food and music. That's what we like. Everyone's so familiar with the cuisine, with Greek cuisine. There's so many local restaurants that are owned by Greek families, second, third generation. Being a part of a community, you can always have something to fall back on. And that's what we're here about, our church is about, our community is about, not only our culture, but our faith, and that's what we want to be. We have a good 17 to 20 sponsors and benefactors who have either given their time, their donations, their money, just to make something like this happen. It truly takes a village, it takes a community, and we'd love to just say thank you to all our volunteers and sponsors.
On a weekend meant to mark the end of summer and the beginning of the fall, it became something far deadlier, as two shootings occurred in succession on Saturday the 2nd. Around 2 a.m., there was a drive-by shooting resulting in 2 fatalities and 5 additional people injured. The Lynn Police Department, as well as District Attorney Paul Tucker, condemned the act of violence, while also stating that they do not believe this was a random act. The names of the 2 victims were released: 25-year-old Abraham Diaz, killed on site, and 21-year-old Hadriel Herida, who later died from his injuries. Then at 11 p.m. that same day, a man was found shot in his vehicle and transported to Salem Hospital, where he later passed away. His name has not yet been released, and authorities do not believe the 2 incidents were related. Both are ongoing investigations, and no arrests have been made. Following the shootings on the 2nd, which left 3 people dead and several injured, more than 30 people gathered calling for an end to gun violence on Tuesday the 5th. The demonstration took place at the same intersection where 2 of the youth were killed, as all present echoed the sentiment that things need to change. Several members of the community stated that there needs to be more positive outlets and resources for the young people of Lynn. They need people in their lives to support them and help them make positive changes in their lives. The mother of one of the victims shared how touched she was that young people in the community were coming out to remember those killed and make their voices heard. As stated by Antonio Gutierrez of Lynn Youth Street Outreach Advocacy, quote, "Something has to change, or this is what we're going to keep doing." Additionally, residents will be given the chance to share their concerns and learn about the city's resources from 5 to 7 p.m. next Friday, September 15th at the Ingalls Elementary School cafeteria. Also on Saturday the 2nd, a back-to-school community cookout and supply giveaway was hosted at Kerwin Circle Basketball Court. Put together by Running United National, people attending can get the supplies they need while also supporting the community as a whole. Here is more from the event.
Right here, we got our 2nd annual community cookout and school supply give back. Last year, obviously, was our first one, and it came out pretty good. This year, it seems to be much bigger. We're getting people involved. We got TD Bank involved. They donated some supplies. Just a bunch of people locally donated some supplies. We just came together to make this event what it is. We got bounce houses out here, skills and drills, just the last shebang of the summer before everybody goes back to school. So what we're trying to do is just touch areas that we feel have potential. There's a lot of families here. We try to find the beautiful sweet spots where we can kind of bring awareness to, let them know what goes on in here with the kids, or let them know this court needs to be redone. There's a bunch of kids that live here, and we're trying to do what we can just to be able to be here for a community that I grew up in, courts that I was raised in, playing basketball in. I graduated right across the street from Lynn Classical. So I've grown up in this city, man, and I've always had a lot of love for it. And I feel it's just kind of overlooked, overshined, and there's so much talent, there's so much potential out here. So we want the kids to know that, we support them, want them to have a good year in school, and just kind of push that on the kids, a safe, just better future, you know what I'm saying? We want to show them that no matter where you come from, you can make that possible.
The Healy-Driscoll administration announced that they are awarding $4.1 million to 6 different organizations around the state in early childhood mental health consolation grants. The funding is going towards programs that train providers and work to improve the social, emotional, developmental, and behavioral health of the young children they care for. The administration wishes to address the growing need for social-emotional support in early childhood. Through these grants, the goal is for early education programs to build stronger connections with families that support the children in need. The City of Lynn is part of the Massachusetts Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children, which will be receiving $953,221. Next on the T, the sports update. St. Mary's boys soccer began their season with a 4-0 win over the Classical Rams. The Spartans advanced to the next round of the Lynn City tournament, led by Kaya Jackson's hat trick. St. Mary's scored off a free kick 15 minutes into the game after a call was overturned and kept the momentum for the rest of the game. Between Tech and English, the Tigers came out on top 2-0, scoring their first goal with just over 6 minutes left in the first. They will square off with the Spartans for the championship. On the girls' side, St. Mary's was also victorious 4-0, with goalie Kylie Kenson recording a shutout. Contrary to the score, it was a competitive game, with only 1 goal scored through the 65th minute. The Tech girls also advanced to the championship, besting English 3-1. Angela Reyes recorded the first 2 goals of the game, both into the bottom right corner of the net. The championship matches for boys and girls are this Saturday the 9th. In golf, St. Mary's began their season 3-1, most recently beating Bishop Fenwick 173-165 and Arlington Catholic 171-124. Against Fenwick, Chase Collins led the way with 30 points. Versus Arlington, 7 players recorded at least 20 points. Tech Volleyball won their first match of the year, 3-1, against the Academy of Notre Dame. 4 Tigers recorded multiple aces, with Ariana Camilo notching 5. The Red Sox continue to hang on to playoff hope, moving to 5 games out of the wild card race. They gave fuel to their cause, winning the first in a 3-game series, 7-3, hosting division rival the Tampa Bay Rays. Brian Bayo had another stellar start for the Sox, going 6 innings and only giving up 2 earned runs on 7 strikeouts. Tristan Casas led the offense, notching 4 RBIs off 2 hits, as Masataka Yoshida broke out of his slump, adding on 2 more RBIs. This was followed by an 8-6 and 3-1 losses. The Patriots are beginning regular season play on the 10th, hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. Mac Jones is slated to start as the only QB on the active roster, with both backups on the practice squad. New England is coming off a disappointing 8-9 season, while the Eagles had a 14-3 record and advanced all the way to the Super Bowl before losing 38-35 to the Chiefs. This week on the Lowdown, the founder and director of GALA came on with a board member to share details on their Hispanic Excellence Exhibit, being officially unveiled next Friday the 15th in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month Here is the lowdown. Hello and welcome back to the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Danny Vittori, and today we have on Annette Sykes and Michelle Guzman from Galleries at LynnArts to talk about an upcoming event. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for the invitation.
So we're here to talk about the Hispanic Excellence Exhibit, which will be coming up very shortly.
September 15th.
Great. And so what's the purpose of this exhibit? Like the main purpose?
So the main purpose of this exhibit is to highlight local Hispanic art. This is the second year that Michelle and I are coordinating this. She's curating it. And it's growing. We are having several of the artists returning to show their art again. Some of them are member artists at GALA and show on a regular basis with us. And each artist who is invited to share their work is gifted membership, an annual membership, and supported in developing their artwork and their professional presentation.
We're also looking for new artists, and through Annette's mentoring, helping them out. Some of them are very new and they're like not even thinking about their art being sold. Like, oh my God, is my art going to be in a gallery or something like that? So obviously she helps them out to escalate that and bring into the new business or how that works, that whole world of arts and galleries.
And as the curator, what's your main job both before and like during the actual exhibit?
Well, curating really is about like selecting the artwork and deciding where it goes on the walls or on the pedestals, and identifying artists that are in the community who may not even think that their artwork
is worth to be in a gallery. Sometimes you think that, oh, I need to be this excellent artist to do that, and so the curating is based on that process.
And what kind of art is in this show? Is it just paintings? Is it just sculptures? Is it mixed?
We don't know what we're going to get yet.
Oh.
So it's always exciting, and it's always a little bit nerve-wracking because we don't know what the artists are going to bring. We don't know exactly which artists are going to show up. I do know that I can give you 4 artists who will certainly be bringing artwork. Anselmo Vasquez-Pais, Abby Valencia, Trinidad Martinez, and Isabel Perez. Those 4 showed last year and will certainly be bringing artwork again this year. And they show on a pretty regular basis throughout the year, and each one of them has sold artwork, within the last few months.
Wow.
So what we do is we do what we call is a call for art. So we call the artist and we send it, and it's a form. And last year I learned that process, obviously, because I was new to that too. And so we open the space because art is actually creativity. So it's not only for painting. So we have another artist that she does crochet or dream catchers. So and then Anselmo, for example, he does mostly sculpture. Through wood, and they're really just pieces. So whatever you think is the way of you expressing the art, that's what we are welcome on. So it's not regular only for piece of arts or frames or pictures or something like that. It's open to the public.
So also on September 15th between 5:30 and 7:30, we'll be having the opening reception, and that gives us a time to celebrate other forms of art as well, such as music, singing, and dance, and food, right? The other traditions of amazing Hispanic culinary and music. And
that's my piece in regards to opening and educating about the Hispanic heritage. Yeah, because you're sometimes, and it's surprising, some people think that it's only South America, and when you bring them back to Central America, which is, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica, that's a different perspective. So we celebrate that whole Hispanic from Central America all the way to South America, but we also have Spain, we have Portugal, we have Brazil. So that's the beauty of this, and that's where we educate, but then also show some expressions of art through dance and food.
Yeah.
And I guess one general thing that I'd like to share with you is that during the summer, this year we expanded the gallery hours from Thursdays and Saturdays. We also, now the new gallery hours that we are going to continue into the fall are Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And we're going to continue the Saturdays 11 to 5. So who knows, we could go a little bit further and expand, to include some evenings. But, it's been a really wonderful thing to have those extra hours during the week.
During the week, yes.
Yeah. Give people extra time to come and see the art, come explore it. And it's going to be pretty much the entire first floor, like both those galleries?
Yes.
Yeah. The floor, the actual building, it's a National Historical Site. And so it's beautiful to know that that whole building that used to be a bank now is dedicated to the arts. But in this particular day, we are going to be open the main gala, but also the art is going to be in the new place.
So the community gallery, which is the smaller gallery in the front of the building, is where this exhibit is going to be, the Hispanic Excellence Exhibit. But we will have the main gallery open as well, which visitors are going to be able to look at, which is Inspired by Word. That's a group show. Okay. Members, non-members, that show is actually open already. And then the Vault Theater is going to have, during the opening reception, the dance, the music, just everything,
the food
going on. The
so
food.
It's a collaboration with other organizations too.
And the Lynn Music Foundation has been gracious enough to work with us to have that in the Vault Theater.
In the Vault Theater.
Because that's a great space to use too. It really gives you room to, especially with the dancing, as you said.
Yeah, and then the stage too, people can sit down, and then so it's very, very nice space to do.
And you said the reception starts at 5:30. Will everything be happening throughout pretty much the whole reception, or are there specific times when there'll be performances? Or
yes. So the first, the open and reception is going to be in the main gala, 5:30, and so that's the time for mingle, and then a couple of words. That's where we explain a little bit of the education of the Hispanic heritage, what it is, what it means, all that, and then we move to the vault at 6 o'clock, around 6 o'clock, to do the performances.
Great. So it sounds like a really fun, amazing thing. And for anyone who maybe hasn't been to the gallery before, only a little bit, why would you say it's so important to go see these exhibits?
It's important to support local art and artists. It just is. I mean, we have such incredible talent here in Lynn and on the North Shore. And I mean, it's one of the most incredible things to be able to just go to an event, and it's family friendly, and you can bring your kids. You can go on a date. You can. It's just a good thing to do on a Friday night, and come to the gallery, enjoy some music, enjoy some food, and then go out afterwards. Go to one of the local restaurants. Like Union Street is right around the corner, And there's any number of restaurants that you can go to. It's just a wonderful way to spend some time.
The other thing is that in this particular exhibit, we're trying also to bring community together, right? Mm-hmm. So because it's the Hispanic heritage, but going to the gala is also to break that barrier of language, first of all. Second, a way that is a way to express art in different ways. We have visual, we have the arts, but then words and sculpture and stuff. But maybe a little secret that not many people know is that Annette speaks Spanish. Ella habla español.
Sí, yo hablo español bastante bien para que si vienen la gente a la galería en sábado y quieren hablar en español, podemos hablar. So we can talk in Spanish if you want to come to the gallery on a Saturday afternoon. You know, we can have a conversation.
So it's breaking barriers, language, and make the gala very community oriented. And it doesn't have to be Spanish. We have a very diverse community in Lynn. So you bring it.
Yeah, you're bringing together an incredibly diverse community, and I know I'll have to wrap up in a minute. But is there anything else that I hadn't asked you about that you wanted to mention?
Everybody's an artist, right? So we pride ourselves in saying that we will install a piece of art that from somebody who's been working for 30 years right next to somebody who's been working for like 7 or 8 months. So bring your art.
And the other thing is that GALA also offers classes and other opportunities. So for new artists is a way also to develop their skills. And as she mentioned, maybe you have 30 years of doing it, or maybe you want to switch in your career. I mean, you were mentioning this morning about somebody was a lawyer most of their business life, and he became an artist. And so that's the transformation also that we like to see in our in GALA.
It all sounds great and amazing, and I want to thank you again for coming on to talk about it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Anytime. And once again, I'm Danny Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we'll see you next time with more guests. Up next, the community calendar. Another in a series of fall park cleanups will take place tomorrow the 9th at Frey Park. The cleanups will run from September 9th to November 18th, every Saturday from 9 to 11 a.m. Supplies for the cleanup are provided, and volunteering can be counted towards community service hours. For a full list of all cleanups, visit LynnTV.org. Next Tuesday, the 12th, EDIC and the City of Lynn are collaborating with the Massachusetts Broadband Institute to create a digital equity planning project. Their main focus is to increase broadband access, adoption, and digital literacy in Lynn. As part of this effort, CTC Technology and Energy is hosting a Broadband 101 and Digital Equity Information session, complete with a Q&A session. Some topics covered will be the evolution of broadband, the planning process so far, and learning more about digital access. This is a virtual event happening from 10 to 11 a.m. Lynn Museum is hosting another Museum Enrichment Series for All, occurring on the second Wednesday of each month. This month it will take place on the 13th from 12 to 1 p.m. in hybrid fashion, both at the Lynn Museum and on Zoom. With a different focus every month, it covers local events and wellness with help from experts, community members, and museum staff. The event is free and open to anyone in the community. That brings us to the end of the news for this week. To stay up to date on local events and election coverage, go to LynnTV.org. And follow us on social media at Lynn Community Television for press releases, links to interviews, and meetings. Also, go to Lynn Community Television on YouTube for news, member shows, and promos. I'm Danny Vittori, this is LCTV News, and we will see you next week.